Hello dear learners. Welcome back to our channel where English learning becomes an unforgettable adventure. Today we begin the incredible life story of one of the greatest leaders in history, Nelson Mandela. This is not just a story, it's a journey of hope, courage and determination. Listening to this story will not only improve your English vocabulary, pronunciation and listening skills, but it will also inspire you to dream big and never give up, no matter how hard life gets. So get ready for one of the most powerful and motivational stories you've ever heard. The journey of Nelson Mandela, the man who changed the world. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in a small village called Mvizo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. His birth name was Ralilela Mandela, which in the Xhosa language means pulling the branch of a tree. Some even say it means troublemaker, a name that perfectly reflected his boldness in challenging injustice. He was born into the Thembu royal family, a tribe known for its rich history and culture. His father, Gadla Henry Mfakiniswa, was a respected chief and advisor to the king. His mother, Nosikini Fanny, was a devout Christian who taught him the values of kindness, humility and faith. Mandela's childhood was simple but joyful. He lived in a hut made of mud and straw, surrounded by open fields and rolling hills. There was no electricity, no running water and no modern luxuries, but Mandela felt free and happy. He loved running barefoot across the fields, herding cattle and swimming in the streams. In the evenings he listened to the elders telling stories around the fire, stories of warriors, heroes and leaders who inspired his young imagination. His father once told him, "A real leader is not someone who seeks power, but someone who serves his people." These words stayed with Mandela for life. When Mandela was just 9 years old, tragedy struck. His father passed away. This loss changed his life forever. His mother took him to live with Chief Janjantaba Dalandibo, a royal leader of the Thembu people. In the chief's palace, Mandela observed leadership, tradition and responsibility firsthand. For the first time he saw a world beyond his small village. At age 7 he began attending a Methodist school, where his teacher gave him the English name Nelson, as was the custom at the time. Though he didn't understand why he needed a new name, he accepted it and focused on his studies. He loved English literature, history and stories of heroes who stood up to colonial rule. Education became his passion. Later he would say, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." By the time he was a teenager, Mandela could see the harsh reality of apartheid, South Africa's system of racial segregation. Black people were forbidden to vote, own land, or live in the same neighborhoods as white people. At 16, during his initiation into manhood, the elders spoke not only of tradition but also of the suffering of their people. Mandela felt a deep duty to fight against injustice. At 19, the chief arranged a marriage for him, but Mandela had different dreams. He wanted to study and create his own path. He ran away to Johannesburg, the bustling city of opportunity. Life there was difficult. He worked as a night watchman in a gold mine and later as a clerk in a law firm, often going hungry, but he never gave up. He studied law at the University of Witwatersrand, one of the few black students there. He faced racism, but it only made him more determined. It was here that Mandela joined the African National Congress, or ANC, a political movement fighting for the rights of black South Africans. He believed in a South Africa where people of all races could live in peace and equality. Together with other young activists he formed the ANC Youth League, encouraging bold action. His speeches were powerful and full of hope. He often reminded people, "It always seems impossible until it's done." In 1944 Mandela married Evelyn Ntoko Mays, a nurse who shared his dreams for a free South Africa. But his life was not easy. His dedication to the struggle often kept him away from his family. In 1948 apartheid laws grew even harsher, controlling every aspect of black people's lives. Mandela and his colleagues organized strikes, protests and boycotts. Inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, he believed in nonviolent resistance. But the government responded with brutal violence. Protesters were arrested, beaten and even killed. Mandela himself was jailed multiple times, yet he never lost courage. He once said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, it is inspiring others to move beyond it." In 1952 Mandela achieved one of his dreams. He became a lawyer. With his friend Oliver Tambo he opened South Africa's first black law firm, offering affordable legal help to black citizens. They defended countless victims of apartheid laws. But in 1960, tragedy struck again. During a peaceful protest in Sharpeville, police opened fire, killing 69 people. The massacre shocked the world. Mandela realized that peaceful protest alone might not be enough. The government banned the ANC, forcing Mandela and others underground. They created a secret armed group called Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation. Their goal was sabotage, not killing, but Mandela soon became the most wanted man in South Africa. Disguised and constantly moving, he became known as the Black Pimpernel for his ability to escape capture. In 1962, Mandela was arrested and charged with sabotage and conspiracy. At his trial, he gave a historic speech. "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." He was sentenced to life imprisonment and sent to Robben Island. Prison life was harsh. Mandela lived in a tiny cell with only a mat on the floor, worked long hours in a limestone quarry, and endured cruelty from guards. He was allowed only one visitor and one letter every 6 months. Yet he refused to be broken. He studied, taught younger prisoners, and even learned the Afrikaans language to understand his oppressors better. His spirit became stronger. He once said, "I am fundamentally an optimist. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun and one's feet moving forward." Mandela spent 27 years in prison. During those years, he became a global symbol of freedom. The world cried, "Free Nelson Mandela." Musicians sang for him, world leaders demanded his release, and ordinary people marched in solidarity. Even from behind bars, his leadership inspired millions. Finally, on February 11, 1990, Mandela walked free at the age of 71. His hair was gray, but his spirit was unbroken. He told the world, "I stand here before you not as a prophet but as a humble servant of you, the people." His release marked the beginning of a new South Africa. In 1994, history was made. For the first time, all South Africans could vote regardless of race. Millions stood in line to cast their votes. Nelson Mandela was elected the first black president of South Africa. His inauguration was a moment of pure hope. He declared, "Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will experience the oppression of one by another." As president, Mandela worked to unite a divided nation. One of his most symbolic acts was wearing the jersey of the national rugby team, the Springboks, during the 1995 Rugby World Cup. Rugby had long been seen as a white man's sport, but Mandela embraced it as a symbol of unity. If you enjoy video, please subscribe us.